You're watching the TCMMA podcast.
Dana White explodes after Jon Jones fails to claim top spot in UFC pound-for-pound rankings, saying, "I have to get rid of these clowns." Dana White wrote. Zuck, talking about Zuckerberg, let's get this AI deal done ASAP. So, again, still with the AI. Now in terms of Dana White and the UFC rankings, AI doing the rankings, yeah, I think it's time to make some moves away from the human element in that area. Because, you know, when you're doing predictions, it's fun because you're not supposed to be right 100% of the time. When you're doing rankings, you're supposed to be right. And when you see like a guy like Jon Jones, who's been the light heavyweight champ and now the heavyweight champ, he should be number one. Next is another guy who held two belts, Alex Pereira, middleweight and light heavyweight. The only reason he's below Jon Jones is simply because he's actually lost a fight for real. Like he got KO'd by Izzy in his last middleweight fight. And then Islam Makhachev. Now, if Islam can go up and win the welterweight title and never lose, then he jumps to 2. But that's just how I see it, right? But you got a lot of other people, you know, making these picks. And how do you look at Jon Jones and say you're not number one? He never lost the light heavyweight belt. He's the only current person to have held two belts and never lost one of them. I'm with Dana White on this 100%. It's absolutely ridiculous. And he's doing this stuff at 37 years old. And yeah, I think he should have fought Tom Aspinall. And yeah, I'll be a harsh critic on that. But the bottom line is, he may never fight Tom Aspinall. You have to look at the pound-for-pound rankings as of today. And I get it. They don't want to put Jon Jones at 1 because this guy might not fight for a year and a half. Then you got to start sliding him down and all this stuff, and it creates a problem. So who knows? That's the only negative part about AI doing the rankings is, will it take into consideration that a guy hasn't fought in a year, 2, 3 years? Is it going to leave guys up there just because they didn't say the words retire and they're just lingering around? Right? What if Conor McGregor didn't come back and lose those fights and we're still looking at Conor McGregor just with the Khabib loss, right? And then he doing what he does now and saying, I'm coming back, I'm going to fight, oh, I'm injured, my toe's injured, and then I'm coming back next year and all, and, so he's never really leaving, but he's not really back. What would AI do with him in that situation? Right? And that's just an example. Don't get caught up in just McGregor. I'm just saying, you have these figures that kind of linger around, but they never fight. So how does AI... So there's just a lot of things. The human element's going to start removing Jon Jones if you don't fight in a year. It's going to totally remove Conor McGregor from the rankings if you don't fight in a year or two. So, that's the human element. How the AI element will work, we don't know. But one thing we do know is it's out of human hands. And when you're dealing with things like that, that's important. When you're dealing with the judges, that's important. And, they may talk about AI with judging eventually, but the bottom line is I think you just need to have a point system like every other sport on earth. At the end of an NFL game, whoever has the most points wins. Basketball, the same. Baseball, the most runs wins. Hockey, the most goals wins. Soccer, same thing. UFC, 3 people decide the fate of the fight, and often we're left upset unless it's just clear that you can see and know who won. If it goes to a split decision, half the people are going to agree, half are going to disagree. We need a point system that we can watch on the screen as the clock is running out and knowing who wins. That's just how it needs to go. And we might get lucky. Every once in a while, the points will switch hands in the final seconds. You'll see one guy, we see this all the time. Guys look great in round 3, come back and dominate, end up leading the fight in the stats, and they lose 2 rounds to 1. But if you had a point system, they win. So there's just a lot of things that AI can do. And only time will tell how that's going to work out.
He's gonna fight, wait, he's gonna fight, wait, hold your breath till the end of the night. Last fighter call, UFC at its height, yeah. Bringing that thunder with all his might, saying step up, wanna fight, hold up, think twice, gladiator assassin, reckless, no abandon, walk through that cage, he'll leave your ass